Noah, this is a driver who knows how to get around the track, Jeff Burton, and he's in a good car today.
Yeah, you mentioned that Stewart Haas Racing's helping with this race car, so we know how good their stuff is. And I don't know, Steve, what's the advantage or disadvantage going out early? Typically, I would say that's not a good thing, but at this time of day, it's exceptionally cloudy. Cars just came off the racetrack. I'm not so sure this is not maybe a good opportunity to go make a lap.
Yeah, I think track condition-wise, I have to agree with you. Now, the disadvantage is you don't know at what pace someone's going to qualify. If you get later, you kind of have an understanding of how fast everybody went. So as a race car driver, as a crew chief, you know how much aggression you need. You can use the flat. You're going to see most guys go there on the flat, try to shorten the front stretch. So 30.98, we saw a 31.17 fastest in practice. Marty? Well, fun maybe, not the optimal goal, though. You'd like to think to drive a little bit better. Garrett Smithley qualified second here.
He'll be making his first start, Steve, at Nashville Superspeedway in the Xfinity Series. You see there, Jade Buford listed third in the 74 car, did not start. So he won't be making an attempt. There were 39 cars entered. Jade will be going home, so 38 cars on track now for the 38 starting spots this afternoon. Logan Bearden is next, the Texas driver. Told you his story just a little bit earlier, working his way up the NASCAR ranks, moved to North Carolina a year ago to work for AM Racing, built the suspensions for the 15 car that Haley Deegan drives, and on occasion gets to get a ride himself. Bearden clocks in. This is Dawson Cram, 22-year-old from Morrisville, North Carolina. 25th career start today, guys.
Yeah, first start here in Nashville. He did make a truck start back in 2021. These Xfinity Series cars going to drive quite a bit different than the truck. You see that left front tire steering left, right, chasing it up the track. Going to kind of run out of real estate. You see the time kind of go away because of it. We'll see if the car's any more secure down here.
Still has that cloud cover. Heavy overcast conditions right now at the Superspeedway on the concrete. So that's working in these drivers' favor.
Kyle's enthusiasm. You know, he sounded like somebody who was excited to be here, and I think that's a great way to beat the heat, as crazy as that is, right? It's all week of preparation and hydration, but then a little bit of it's a mindset. If you feel like you want to be here and this is exactly what you should be doing, I think it makes it a little bit more comfortable.
Chad Fincham on track now, Knoxville driver, so he's a local. Back in the Xfinity Series, he's going to run both the Xfinity Series race and the Cup Series race tomorrow, so a big weekend on store for Chad Fincham.
Yeah, speaking, this is Kyle Weatherman's team car that he mentioned, the 92. Ross Chastain also had speed in practice, trending in the green. This will be a good test to see how good Noah Gregson's lap is at the top.
Really nice job of carrying his speed through the center of the corner. Gave up a touch of speed to Noah on entry, but was able to roll through the middle pretty well.
Strong runs lately for the driver of the 43. That is Ryan Ellis, his second full-time season back in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Had good runs at Dover, Portland, Iowa. Trying to back it up with another one here.
There's a lot of commitment. Driving into the corner, carried a lot of speed in there. Loved his aggressiveness. Looked like she wasn't very comfortable getting into turn one, kind of had to turn early, afraid to stay out late. Get to the bottom a little bit later. A little wider entry here, but never got back to the bottom of the racetrack. And that's why she was afraid to do it getting into one, because if you take that high entry into the corner and it doesn't work, you never find your way back to the bottom, and it kills the lap.
First time in any series at this track, Jeff Burton. How intimidating can Nashville be?
Oh, this is a very fast racetrack, but it is super slick. It's like a super speedway mixed up with a short track. So you almost have to have a short track mentality. You saw right there, he drove into turn one, wasn't able to stay the bottom, got way up the racetrack on corner exit, cleaned it up a lot in 3 and 4.
And
this is breaking news as we see Kyle Sieg finishing up his lap. That's Jesse Love's car.
Yeah, we're hearing they have a hole in the radiator, some sort of water leak, so they're going to have to go back and make repairs. Good news, it won't affect his ability to be in the race later today. Bad news, no qualifying. He'll start at the back of the field, and that doesn't affect pit road this week because Xfinity Series picks pits off last week's qualifying. But next week when we head to the street course at Chicago, he'll be near the bottom of the field picking his pit.
may be the understatement of the day, Steve, I do believe.
Well, like Jeff said, it's slick. One big moment, you can give it all back. Like right there, you know, he should still be tracking green, but he lost time on that exit of 2, Jeff.
Yeah, he did. He gave up just a little bit of time, just hustling, maybe trying a little bit too hard up the racetrack here.
Stays in the green. Gibbs will set the new standard coming to the line. Ties time 30:87.
But from what
First time in the Xfinity series in the car this year for Tyler Reddick, and he'll be third. Williams on track now for Colleague Racing.
Yeah, and they have to look at this. You mentioned it earlier with Chandler Smith when he was at Colleague last year, how good he was in this race. So you know they have a good notebook on what worked. But, you know, Colleague Racing, I know they have the highlights, SVG, a couple wins at the road courses. But at the ovals, it's just not been the year we would expect out of this organization. Kind of a rebuilding year, you know, they would admit themselves. And I think you see it right here with Williams' pace. You know, he'll be 9th on the grid. Right here, though, he's going to bleed some time on the front stretch.
And for Burton, it will be nice 5th. You take out the oil line issue for Brennan Poole at the Iowa Speedway. His other 3 races in the last 4 have been top 15 on average, so good running this summer right now for Brennan Poole. The WeatherTech car right on cue, right, Jeff? This is Shane Van Gisbergen. We talked to Marty earlier about the difficulties of running just the 1 lap for NASCAR Xfinity Series qualifying. He's in the red here.
And that experience that he's lacking, what he did right there, he just said, I'm not going to make a mistake. He got his left side tires on that yellow line, probably a little over-conservative, Steve, but that's the thing to do. As you're trying to learn, go in there with a plan and execute on it.
Well, Justin Jones have some things going right for him now. It's been troublesome lately for the driver of the 9 car, outside the top 10 in finishes the last 4 races of this year. He's got to get back in there if he's to make the playoffs.
Decent 1 and 2. See if he can. I think there's some speed available relative to Gibbs here. Starting to trend back a little bit.
Takes it down to the flat. That's where the timing line is. He'll trip it, and he'll be 4th. Austin Hill, what a recovery from 17th in practice up to P2 so far in qualifying. Nice run.
And what you heard out of Justin Allgaier there was what Jeff was talking about earlier, that these cars have to basically run their race setup with whatever adjustments they can get into them. And when you add the tape on the nose of these cars, the aero balance shifts dramatically freer. You can put air in the tires, but especially a car that's good in the long run tells me it's turning very good, Jeff, or has some security. Those are sometimes the hardest to get the fire off in qualifying.
That's a really clean entry into 1. That looked really good. Building speed down the backstretch.
How about the line here, Jeff? Oh, just comes off it.
Loose. Got loose getting into 3. You can see the left front tire starting to move around on it as he was counter steering the car to catch the back of it. Just took away any effort to be aggressive.
Pretty steady hands, but not in the green. But good enough for 2nd.
Right there at a 96, poles and 87.
Outstanding lap for Ryan C. Gets 2nd.
30.96, P2. Good job, guys.
That is a good job. Great run. We'll see if the good luck that Marty wished Parker Kligerman's going to pay off. This car definitely not what they were looking for in practice. Can they make adjustments?
See, that's hard from a driver's standpoint. You can see that wheel moving around there. He's trying to figure out what the grip level is on those front tires and carry that speed on corner exit. But if you miss it, it's a terrible lap. So drivers, kind of personality. Oh sideways for Creed.
And it was in the green until then, so he definitely was fully committed on corner entry.
And that's the negative, right, that we were just talking about, risk versus reward. If I'm going for the pole here, and if I don't make it work, I might have a bad qualifying effort, or do I make a more conservative effort? He's got a chance.
Absolutely.
Dives deep into turn 3. Cole Custer trying to ride the line. Can he bring it to the line and not Ty Gibbs from the top? Down to the line, down to the apron. Cole Custer, he won't do it. He'll be 2nd. The Nashville Superspeedway, Ty Gibbs, pole position again. He's the 4th driver in 2024 to win multiple poles, and he's only done it with 4 races, Steve.
Yeah, Ryan Sieg there in row 2 ties his best ever qualifying effort in the 39. He'll start next to AJ Allmendinger.
Austin Hill, huge recovery from practice to end up with the 21 car in row 3.
A little bit further back, Parker Kligerman in row 5. He wasn't happy with his car in practice, certainly made some good changes. Sheldon Creed, row 7. Today be the day he gets his win.
Nemechek and Clements in row 8.
Yeah, he did. He looked good in practice. See Ross Chastain back there in row 10. Parker Retzlaff in the 31. We'll start next to Matty D in the 38. Sam Mayer all the way back in row 12.
That will be a show to watch. The 1 car coming through this afternoon. We know they'll find a way to put speed in that JRM car.
You mentioned JRM, the 88 of Carson Quapple back in row 15. Jeff, you mentioned it started a week ago, so he has some experience working through traffic.
See Haley Deegan in row 16 there with Dawson Cram. Steve, you pointed at Jesse Love on row 19. Bad deal for them.
Yeah, mechanical issue, had to change a radiator, didn't get to qualify.
Marty Snyder.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.